You clicked on this video because you feel like there's something that you want that's out of reach and you want to get it. Hi friends, it's Trish and I'm back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about manifesting your goals. Now, what exactly does manifesting your goals mean? It means that you have the mindset to be able to reach whatever it is that your dream is, whether it's getting into nursing school, whether it's having a fit body, whether it's being happy, whether it's getting a promotion at work. Oftentimes, I find that people think that their dreams are unattainable. I myself too feel like some of my dreams are unattainable because we go through this phase of imposter syndrome where we feel like we are underqualified, that we haven't done the work. Our inner critic comes out and says, no, you're not able to do that. There's so many people that are doing that already or that are better than you. And I think that we are the biggest roadblock to hindering ourselves from our goals. I struggle with this on a day-to-day basis. Just now talking to you guys, I'm actually not very good, I think, in front of the camera.
But that'll be for another topic.
We are the only thing that's stopping ourselves. So I'm going to teach you some tips that I learned throughout my journey to become better at manifesting my goals. So let's get started. So the first time I experienced manifesting something was when I tried to get into nursing school. So you probably heard the story if you watched my How I Got to UCLA video. Basically, when I was in high school, I had many counselors and people that I talked to that went to UCLA tell me that UCLA was a very hard school to get into. They only took 40 applicants out of 1,000 plus. And because of that, I actually had a lot of friends in high school who were discouraged from applying to the nursing program. But no matter what they said, I think in my heart, I was always like, no, UCLA is my dream and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get in. And I said that to myself so often that became the voice. Like, even as I'm saying it now, you can hear the passion in my voice because that was something that I really wanted and I wanted so bad, and I wasn't gonna let anything stand in that way. So, I spruced up my application as much as I can, and I did as much as I can with my SATs. And for those of you that heard my story, I didn't have a really good SAT score. I think it was like either 18 or 2000, somewhere around there was my SAT score. And so it was more of my passion and how that came out in terms of writing my paper, in terms of my projects, that I think really helped propel me through. If I didn't set myself up with that mindset, then I don't think that would have came through on paper in what I was writing. And so believing in myself and believing that I was already worthy of a spot at UCLA was the biggest thing that definitely helped me out. If you are able to change your mindset, I think that makes all the difference. Now, some people are like, yeah, I really want this thing. How do I change my mindset? So let me give you some tips on what I thought was helpful for me. So my first tip for you would be to tune out the noise. When I was applying to UCLA for undergrad, I had a lot of people tell me that UCLA had a big applicant pool, that it was really hard to get in. And I remember always saying, I don't care, I'm gonna get in. And I believe that in my heart. And if you're not at that place yet, there are steps that you can take to get there. For example, you can write down affirmations that you can recite. So if I was writing down affirmations, I would basically take a journal or maybe a flashcard and write things in the present tense about what it is that you want. And I would write them as if you had already had them. So if I was writing about getting into the School of Nursing, I would write, I am Trish, I am a student nurse at UCLA. And I would just put them on my desk, on my wall in front of my desk so that I could see it and say it every morning. Or I would tape it up to my bathroom, honestly, and say it over and over again until I get to a point where I'm confident saying that. When you first say these things, you can feel really, really silly. Well, for me, writing cards about self-worth kind of feels silly to me. I'm Trish, I'm confident, I'm worthy. And saying those things right now feel very silly. But over time, the more you say them, you start to realize, like, yes, I am confident, I am worthy. And the same thing will happen for any of your other goals. If it's to get into UCLA. It'll be, yes, I am going to be a student nurse. I will be, not I might be, I will be a student nurse at UCLA. And you'll start to feel that in here, and that's when you know that you believe it. The next tip that I have for you is to cast your vision. We all know that 2020 is canceled. This is the year that we never want to repeat and never want to do, and a lot of us didn't get to do our hopes and dreams and visions for this year because of everything that's going on. And so what I decided to do was I tried to make light of the situation, and I tried to reset my goals for 2020. So the way that I did that was I made a vision board for 2020, and I rewrote all the places that I want to grow. So I wanted to grow spiritually, I wanted to grow career, I wanted to grow financially, and I wanted to grow in my relationships. So each one of those, I picked a picture of where I wanted to be at the end of 2020. So for example, in my career, I wrote that I wanted to study for the GRE so that I could apply to CRNA school within the next few years. In my relationships, I put that I wanted to spend more time with my family, more quality time with my boyfriend. Things like that I took pictures of and that represent my goal, so that every time I see it, every time I go to my desk, it's in my subconscious that these are the things that I'm working towards. Oftentimes, I feel like we have a clear vision of what we want our goals to be, but then life comes around and we start overthinking all these external factors, and then the vision of our dream becomes less shiny and less bright. So us putting a physical picture of it on our wall somewhere we can see just reminds us of how bright our dream is and how close we are to getting it if we can see it. With putting your vision up on your wall, us seeing it every day and really looking at it helps it to be in our subconscious as well. Our subconscious is really powerful, that even though we may not be physically thinking of it, it's always there deep down, so that all the things that we're doing, all the things that we are doing in our day-to-day life work towards that one goal that we want. The third thing that I like to do is I like to listen to podcasts. So when I am going for a walk or driving in my car or even just cleaning my room, that podcast kind of helps me to have a little bit of an outside perspective, maybe when I'm not feeling as confident in my dreams and in my vision, or if I want a little pep talk, or if I want some other different ways of manifesting my goals and maybe they have some insight as to how that is, then I'll go ahead and listen to what they're saying. The last two things that I like to do is I like to journal, and I listed this as the last thing because I actually don't do it as much as I should. I journal a lot when my head isn't so clear, but I should probably try to get into more of a practice with it, just to kind of at least set my intentions for the week, as well as meditating. Meditating is something that's really hard for me to do as well. It's just really hard for me to sit still. I always find that I'm trying to focus on something, and then my mind just wanders off, and then it's really hard for me to come back. I did get Headspace this year. This video isn't sponsored, but I do like their different mindfulness practices. But if you don't have Headspace, you can always Google mindfulness meditations, and you can even Google meditations on certain things. Like if you're feeling angry, you can Google meditations to get rid of anger, or meditations for forgiveness, things like that. Anything that you're feeling, which I didn't know about, and that's so cool. Like that just blew my mind that that is actually a thing. There's definitely different practices out there that you can use to kind of get yourself into the mindset that you want to be in. So I hope these things help you to manifest your dreams. Just know that you should be patient with yourself and really give yourself time. Mindset change doesn't happen overnight. It definitely is like a muscle. You definitely really have to work on it every single day. These are just a few exercises that you can use in your manifestation journey and to kind of help you achieve your dreams. That's all I got for you today. Be kind to yourself and give yourself time. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. It really helps me out. Thanks. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.